Finally, a movie villain that Jason can get behind. We saw Return to Oz, so you know what that means.
Now it's time for How Did This Get Made? We're gonna have a good time, celebrate some failure, not just be a hater, cause you know you wonder, how did this get made? Let's wallow in the mediocrity of subpar art. Perhaps we'll find the answer to the question, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? I am your host, Paul Scheer, and today we are talking about a little-known sequel to The Wizard of Oz. Yes, this was a big budget film made by Disney back in 1985. The IMDb logline says, Dorothy, saved from a psychiatric experiment by a mysterious girl, is somehow called back to Oz when a vain witch and a gnome king destroy everything that makes the magical land beautiful. And wow, here to discuss it all are my two co-hosts. Please welcome Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Raphael. How are you both?
I traumatized.
Yes, truly.
Traumatized.
Truly.
I found this to be... Wait, have you guys seen this movie?
No.
Never.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if this was a popular movie for like a younger generation.
No, I am very familiar with TikTok, not the app, but the robot, because that robot has been in a lot of, like, whenever they bring around like Star Wars stuff, like TikTok the robot is out in the
interesting.
Out and about.
TikTok the robot also looks exactly like, and I'm sure there's a reason for this, the robot in Genndy Tartakovsky's Unicorn Warriors Eternal has TikTok robot character in it that's the same.
See, I just thought he looked like Monopoly Man.
Oh,
that
well,
too. That too. Man, what a pervasive image that is throughout so many, like the upturned mustache, the monocle, all of that.
A potbelly robot is an odd choice. It doesn't seem functional in any way to give your robot girth.
Well, have you seen, and I don't know if either of you guys do this, because sometimes I will when we watch a movie, especially if it's old, I will check in on where they are now. Yeah. TikTok the robot is definitely on Ozempic.
Oh,
he is so skinny.
Good.
He's so skinny right now. It's crazy. He looks like C-3PO.
Well, now the mustache looks too big on him. It looks way too big.
So you guys have not seen this, but was this, and Paul, maybe this is in your research, so forgive me. Was this a popular movie? Like, what did this? Okay.
This isn't a moment, right? Just to set the stage. Disney's like, what do we do? Right? And they don't know which direction to go in because they kind of lost their younger audiences. And this is the moment where they go, oh, okay, we'll do Star Wars. And they make The Black Hole. Oh, right. And then they go, that didn't work. Oh, we'll make James Bond. And they make this movie called Condor Man. Then they make Escape from Witch Mountain, which is great and scary.
That movie I loved. Yeah.
Awesome. And I think this is kind of in that same vein of, like, we're not the Disney that you know. We're this Disney.
Here's what's interesting, though. I just finished it.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't feel right.
No.
I feel there's such The Wizard of Oz is very important to me. And it's such a perfect movie that this Return to Oz and what they did here is really distressing to me, because I'm like, let's say you are Disney and you're going to go back into the property of Wizard of Oz and the books and all of it. Why would you choose to do this?
Oh,
yeah, I agree.
Why? This is not a children's movie.
It's not. Well, you know what it is, though? It's a children's movie when you think about maybe some of the other children's movies that are around at this time. This, to me, felt like Wizard of Oz meets The Dark Crystal.
Yes.
Like, it felt like it was in a darker, scarier world, and I don't know if this is in the books and they're just adapting the book, but
this is two different books they've kind of adapted and put together as one. So it is, and I will say that the Baum estate says, this is my Oz.
No, I understand that. And I've heard that before. That's I think the one thing I had heard about Return to Oz, which is that, like, it is close to the source material in a way that Wizard of Oz is not, her in terms of her age and also the darkness of it.
Here's what I just want to say.
And the reality of it, like this is my main issue.
Ooh.
Is that, of course, in The Wizard of Oz, she wakes up at the end.
Right.
Well, in this
and
movie,
Oz was a dream. And in this movie, Oz is not a dream.
No, oddly, the house did fly away. It is in Oz, but yet she also is a child that is going through, at least through her parents' eyes, a psychotic break. She's having like tornado PTSD.
she's also institutionalized and on the verge of getting 1930s electroshock treatment.
That
That was the part of the movie the movie opens. It's so, and it parallels Wizard of Oz really well in the sense that, like, the Wizard of Oz starts off black and white, and then once you get to Oz, it's color. In this version of it, though, it's all in color, but the initial scenes are fully desaturated, and it looks like they're in, like, Days of Heaven.
I was going to say that it is in color, but it somehow seems like it has less color than black and white. Like it is depressing.
It is dull. It looks like
dull.
Dust Bowl era Grapes of Wrath.
Yes.
Oh,
it's like, I was like,
we're so smart, Grapes of Wrath.
We love it.
Oh.
But when you see the home life of Dorothy, not to skip to the end, but why would she ever want to go back? The original Dorothy,
know.
I get why she wants to go. Like this, your parents are putting you in an institution, like a scary institution where they're strapping you down to a bed.
But here's
and
the thing. But oh my gosh, this is why it's so there's no emotional connective tissue between the two films. I mean, this isn't a sequel to The Wizard of Oz, as far as I'm concerned. This is sort of another telling of the book.
This is more of a sequel to Hereditary than it is Wizard of Oz.
But I guess that's why I'm just so confused, because in the beginning of this movie, Oz is real. That wasn't a dream to her.
Mhm.
She didn't really, but more than that, I mean, that's distressing. But all of the deeply important lessons that she learned, that she taught herself through that dream about Oz, about, what's important
Heart,
in life,
brain.
about knowing what you already have and trusting it, that it's going to come from you, about imagination, about all these things, are completely like thrown away.
She seems duller. Like
And
upon
she
her
is
return.
significantly younger.
And here's which I'm okay with, because I like that she is a younger. I like that a younger person is being put in this kind of incredibly fantastical world. But what is so difficult to reconcile as I'm watching this is that the events of The Wizard of Oz have already happened to this person, to this child.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel like what's happened. This feels like a prequel in many ways, and it is a undeniable sequel. And so what I kept having a real trouble figuring out is she's already been through all this. Now, obviously, Oz is so different, and everything has changed.
Sure, yeah.
But like it is so hard to keep track of. It's so clear in the initial movie who wants what, who needs what, and what the journey is. It's a real Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings. Like, we're on an adventure. It's a found family. These are my people. Each of us has these components, and we're going to move forward. In this movie, I didn't know who wanted what. I didn't know what role they were supposed to be playing. I didn't understand the whats or the whys.
I'll go one step further. This is a sequel to a movie that we've not seen. Right? Because at one point she's flying over a place and she's like, oh, well, this is the desert land. I remember I saw this when we were
that?
I'm like, wait, no, we don't know this.
And also when they say your shoes, your ruby red slippers, when the king of gnomes or whatever he is says your ruby red slippers fell off when you were flying back to flying through the did they?
Let's give me a little give me not a prequel, but give me like a last time on
Listen, I felt like that this entire thing, I was like, we are all being institutionalized. We are all, our reality is being questioned just like hers. And I don't know what the answer is.
Go ahead, Paul.
I was going to tell you the most disturbing moment in it for me. It's right here in this part. and tell me if this hit you in the wrong way that it could hit me. Her brushing the hair of a jack-o'-lantern that has no hair, but like her in that hospital room, just pretend brushing.
It's a horror.
I was like,
You know what?
this is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my
so
life.
for me, in that same section, what I found absolutely bone-chilling was that here is this doctor who is going to give her electroshock treatment, and the way he describes it is to make the machine have a face.
Oh.
This electrical marvel will make it possible for you to sleep again. And it will also get rid of all those bad waking dreams that you've been telling me about. Now, this fella here has a face. You see it? Here are his eyes, and this must be his nose, and this must be his mouth. But what's this? Dorothy? Why, it's his tongue.
Here's this machine that's going to rob you of who you are, that's going to give you this barbaric treatment, and here's its eyes, and here's its nose, and he's making it this cute, he's personifying it in a way that has such insidious malice to it. It's like, trust this machine that's going to destroy you.
Yeah. And she sees a face in it. And by the way, I mean, I guess that's supposed to be TikTok. Or another question for you both. Is this a dream? It feels like it has elements of a dream and then elements that it's not. Because at the end, it could have been a dream. She better keep her fucking mouth shut, though, when she comes back to this one.
That's the lesson, though, Paul.
For real.
That is the lesson of the movie.
Yes. Yeah. Keep it to you. Keep secrets.
Keep your dreams and your imagination and your thoughts private.
Well, when it is whatever, 1930, whatever, like nobody wanted to hear from these dang kids.
No, that's the moral of the story.
But this is a movie made in 1985
I know.
as a children's film. Like, it's like it does feel like, I mean, I want to put it out there that this is directed by Walter Murch, who wrote this as well. And Walter Murch, if you don't know, one of the legendary editors of our time. I mean, just like
a true responsible for so many of
Ghost,
the movie.
Apocalypse Now, The Conversation, The English Patient, like The Godfather. Like, he's like done it all. So like wrote a book on editing. Like, definitely gets it. And I wouldn't say the movie is poorly edited. It just is like, it doesn't
I do think this is a faithful adaptation. I think this is a faithful adaptation of whatever they were adapting. Those two books put together, the darkness of it, the childhood trauma, her age. I think this is all clearly, it's faithful. There's no songs. That Wizard of Oz was not written as a musical. There's no joy. There's no joy. It is just a very, very dark tale about industrialization, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's so grim, but I do think it is exactly what those books are. Now, I will say, though, this is an example of why it is important sometimes to not at all be faithful to the original source material. To really let go.
Well, June, I just want to give you one little tip here, that he wasn't just faithful to Frank L. Baum's work. Walter Murch says that he used a lot of inspiration from a book called Wisconsin Death Trip, a 1973 historical nonfiction book about like diphtheria in Black River Falls between 1885 and 1910.
What the?
Okay.
So, I mean, I will say this is a movie that has a lot of craft. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like there is a lot going into this. It is well made. It's not like
great puppeting.
I have to say the hallway of heads or whatever that was called.
The detachable heads.
The detachable heads I thought was amazing.
Yes.
I thought
there's so many scary,
unbelievable. And once you realize like what's going on with those heads and what she's doing and I thought it was really, really
Were
incredible.
those heads that different? I mean, later in the movie, we find out that the gnome king had gave her a bunch of heads so she would do his bidding. And I was like, it didn't seem like she was really exploring how many different faces she could possibly have. A lot of those heads seemed very like, let's get a shaved head. Let's get a cool, like, give me a couple, give me a guy's head in there. Let's mix it
we
up.
want a punk rock head.
Yeah.
With a
give me
mohawk.
some-
I felt like what's so true is I believe. Do I believe this? Maybe not. What I was going to say is this is clearly a sequel to a book. The book was not what The Wizard of Oz was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so what's curious to me is that
Right.
boy, do I wish they had started with in 1985. What if we did a faithful to the
Right.
book adaptation
Start
of The
with
Wizard
that.
of Oz? No songs, none of that stuff. We're just going to do that in hopes of it working and them getting to then do this book to
That's a really
continue
good
the
point.
world of the way that and forgive me, this is not exactly a one-to-one, but the Arnold Schwarzenegger Running Man is barely an adaptation of the Stephen King story versus Edgar Wright's, which is a much more faithful adaptation, and the movies are quite different as a result in a way that is
Totally. Give us the darker version of Wizard of Oz.
That's what I'm saying. Give us like
yes.
an overture. Just even give us a 10-minute thing. Like, okay, we got it. But what we're even seeing, because we're supposed to feel connection when she meets the scarecrow. I'm like, that's not my scarecrow. That scarecrow
ain't
is
my scarecrow.
And by
Yeah.
the way, I'm also feeling like, well, my scarecrow is now my Pumpkin Jack, which, by
Yes.
the way, Tim Burton has admitted he has used inspiration for Jack Skellington.
you got. I mean,
By the way, one of the most
obviously.
chilling moments to me, my scariest moment, was when Pumpkin Jack started calling her mom.
Dorothy, may I call you Mom, even if it isn't so? Oh, thank you.
Oh no,
That-
no,
Throughout.
that was
Throughout.
no.
Really, really distressing. And then even worse, she started responding to
I
it.
couldn't deal with it because
You wanted a
because
mom.
she is. I'm gonna say. Oh, this is Fairuza Balk
Yes.
in this performance, and it is.
Young.
I will say I mean, she's got to be like 9 years old. How old is she? 10 years
She-
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
She's
very,
a
very young.
child when she's doing. I think this is a fantastic performance because in every single scene, but a handful, she is acting alone against inanimate objects. There's it's a pile of rocks. It's a pile. It's like she's doing a great job in service of scenes where she has no scene partners. It's very
Okay,
weird.
I do agree that she's great. And the portrayal of Dorothy Gale, I mean, Judy Garland's performance is one of the best performances ever on film, but it's so childlike and it's so innocent and beautiful and joyful and
you mean Judy Garland's? Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
buoyant and so I think vulnerable too. I think it's so beautiful and alive. But there's something about Dorothy Gale in The Return to Oz that feels, even though she's significantly younger, playing an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, she feels much older.
Oh,
It
she feels wounded.
like her. Yeah,
I mean,
and Judy Garland's playing like a 12, 13-year-old.
I have nothing to say about the performance. She looks like she got the treatment, the shock treatment. Like
1,000%.
she does not look happy. She
Well, yeah.
doesn't like
You know what
she
she
doesn't
looks
seem
like?
joyful.
She
Yeah.
looks like an actual 10-year-old from that era. Like
Right,
Judy
right.
Garland skipping around with baskets and Toto and having fun, and that's not her life in like
She's
the
Dust Bowl.
in Dust
Yeah.
Bowl
Yeah,
era.
it's
Like
Depression era, yeah.
this little girl is
She's been
how
hungry before. She's gone to bed hungry
Yes.
many, many nights.
And the movie is done a disservice by purporting to be a Wizard of Oz sequel, only because
Yeah, don't call it that.
Call it anything else, and we would have enjoyed it. Look, it has more in common with Pan's Labyrinth than it does.
Yes.
Than it does The Wizard of Oz.
Now, here's what I will say, and I don't like to always do this in this show because it's not always about this, but I do want to call this out. Fairuza Balk, who's in, you would say, like 98% of the film, right? she was not permitted to work more than 3.5 hours each day. And she could only work between 9 and 4:30. And that had to include breaks and education in there. So to think about the production of this movie on top of that, like, and you're right, she's in scenes.
She's in all of it.
She's in all of it. It's like, what are they getting? Like, what are we shooting at?
And
a
how
certain
long
point?
did it take? And and it's not like, oh, well, when she is when we lose her for the day early, at least we can shoot. Like this happens on Percy Jackson because there's so many of the kids are young kids.
And you also become a pumpkin.
Yes,
after what is it,
I am
like
a pumpkin-headed man on that as well.
3.5 hours, yeah.
Yeah. But all the kids, when they have to leave, we basically then turn around and shoot all the adults' coverage once the kids are gone. But there are no adults in this. There are no other people in this. They're not like, oh, okay, now that Dorothy
Get the chicken in here.
has to go home, we're going to just shoot the chicken.
Fuck that chicken, by the way.
The worst. And you go from Toto to a fucking chicken?
That
Come
really
on.
upset me.
Does she wipe her eye with that chicken when she's crying at one point? I felt like at one point she tears up and she lifts the chicken. And I'm like, you can't wipe your eye with a chicken
Can I ask
feather.
you guys a question about The Wizard of Oz? And I'm going to admit something here that is perhaps an insane statement. I haven't watched The Wizard of Oz since I was a kid.
Sure.
This is not a movie that I rewatch or that I have any real like affinity for, other than when it was on TV as a kid. I watched it, and I watched it a handful of times. I don't remember. Toto didn't talk, did he?
No.
Oh, okay. Because she has a chicken at home, and then when she's in Oz with the chicken talks.
Some place for a chicken coop.
When did you learn to talk anyway? I thought hens could only cluck and cackle.
Strange, ain't it? How's my grammar?
If we were in the land of Oz, your talking wouldn't be strange at all.
And she's like, oh, we must be in Oz because now you can talk.
But then I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Did Toto talk when they went to Oz? And okay, good. Thank God.
Also, thank God. But as Paul said, the downgrade, the fucking downgrade.
You the chicken.
This is a low. I mean, can you imagine being there for the first one and getting the lion, you've got Toto, you've got the Tin Man, you've got all these great characters, and the B team that shows up in this movie, I was like,
this is like Expendables 7.
Except
like, this
for
is
TikTok,
like,
who I wonder if my character from John Wick 3, the TikTok man, is in any way related to TikTok.
I feel like they have to be.
I do want to talk about TikTok because I do think there is something going on about like machinery but I didn't really like understand it. Like I know that beware of the wheelers and wheels and the industrial
I liked
world
them as
taking
villains.
over.
Yeah.
Me too. But
visually.
But then there was TikTok.
Yeah.
And
He's
I was
kinda
like,
steampunky.
but he's not the Tin Man.
Nope.
Who's worried about not feeling, who's worried about only being sort of metal and scraps and not being human. But that's not, I couldn't understand, like, what is TikTok's story exactly?
Well, to me, I think that TikTok is like, chill the fuck out. You can't be excited. Like TikTok is that machine, right? So I think it's about controlling her emotions. But then at the end, he kind of gets emotions, I guess, right? Or
I think it's yes to what we're talking about. But the movie is not doing us any favors to foreground it and say, this is the search that this character is on, or this is the search, in a way that I found just confounding.
We are the TikTok, Pumpkin Man, and the couch, to be honest, have all the same emotional like interior. I couldn't and what's such a bummer about that is her friends on the yellow brick road and how beautiful, rich, important those performances. My God, like to be saddled with not a single one of them has a human face.
No.
Which felt very disappointed. I didn't know if it was like, oh, those characters are so iconic, like they're so physical and beautiful from Wizard of Oz that we're not even gonna try.
No, they went to like a cartoon. Like I feel like again, it's if you look at the images on the Wizard of Oz books, they look similar to that. Like the way the Tin Man, I was like, oh, this doesn't even feel right here. I do want to bring
again,
up one.
What we're up against is the decision to make the Wizard of Oz so much different from the books means that by participating in any future storytelling based on the books, it almost is unrecognizable to the movie Wizard of Oz.
And I'll tell you one thing. I saw the original Wizard of Oz recently, and the Scarecrow, not that handsy with Dorothy originally. When he first wakes up, he's like, "Ooh!" He's like, what's going on here?" I'll tell you this much. With TikTok,
but it's also the same exact beat. Like when she's
Yeah.
stuffing the Scarecrow with his hay, and like when she's doing the exact same thing with Jack the Pumpkin in this.
the character that bums me out is Gump, the animal who's having this crisis of conscience, being like, was I alive before this?
Yes.
I remember a life before being a mounted animal. I'm like, oh, what is that? Like
everybody in the movie, like with the exception, actually no, including Dorothy, are having existential crises.
Oh yeah,
yes,
they're all in like deep psychic distress, and it's very uncomfortable to watch.
Yes.
Oh,
and
God.
There's something about the changes to the wizard. My guess is, well, no. Books are, tell me again, 1939 for the movie. Film is 39. And what were the books?
The book's 1890 is where
1890.
Like,
okay. So there's something about, to me, 1939, like the movie being like a post-Depression era movie. So to make it as bleak as what these books must have been, this is a bleak movie. You know what I mean? This is not a hopeful,
bleak,
joyful
it's
movie.
Bleak in the middle, and it ends in a pretty bleak manner.
So I can see them in the 30s being like, okay, we have just come out of one of the most awful periods of time. Yes, this source material, but let's plus it up with some songs.
Yeah, let's make it fun.
Absolutely.
Let's make it beautiful.
That's why people
color.
responded to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not like, let's bum people. It's like, I don't see a better version. It's like, I don't want to be in Oz. I don't want to be in Kansas. I don't want to be here. I kind of want to go back to that machine. Erase it all. I'll be happier. Let me just, and the girl who's living in mirrors, I'm like, I don't need any of this.
Oh, at the beginning, I was like, oh, thank God she has a friend. And I was like, oh, no.
Nope.
Well, this, I think the thing that's also just so disappointing about this one is her journey in The Wizard of Oz is so clear and so relatable. That idea that there's someone's coming to save us. That if we could just get this one thing, if we could just figure this out, if we could just get this one job or whatever, that our lives will be unlocked and things will be so much easier, and that someone outside of ourselves is going to make that happen. The moment in The Wizard of Oz when it reveals that there's just nothing, tiny man behind the curtain, is so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
For her emotional journey. And in this movie, her journey, I think, is to first starts off to prove Oz is real, but then to restore it. But for what, I guess?
Yeah, that's it. Like, for what reason? How is that paying off anything that the movie began with? Like, where, like, any of the established wants or anything that the movie begins telling us is not even part of the resolution or where her pursuit of a resolution. You know, she is so much more of a passive character inside of this movie. The movie is happening to her, whereas in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy is inexplicably driving them forward towards the Emerald City. And in this one, she is just reactive. It is just like, oh no, oh look at that, oh look at that.
You know what it actually feels like in a way? It's like she's remembering The Wizard of Oz post a traumatic event, like post her mind, right? Because it's like she's not really on a journey here. She's not really, like, I guess she is trying to find the Scarecrow, but she's really just kind of like looking at what happened before. right? I
Well,
mean, like
she's also not trying to, because you could easily say like, oh, she's back. Nobody believes her.
yeah.
She's older. She's like, oh, I need to be able to, for my own sake, like,
Right. I need to see it for myself again.
I need to prove to myself that this is real, if not to the people around me, so as to not be perceived of as needing electroshock treatment, you know?
Well, but of course that's confusing. It all falls apart when we like confront the fact that it wasn't real.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say one thing. I want, like,
proving?
when our son talked a lot about Pokemon, we did get him electroshock therapy because he just was talking about this nonsense. We didn't understand it, and it was like, and we just like, get it out. We have to get it out. And that, that's fine to do. But I mean, but besides that, I think back then it's barbaric. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, she only is showing imagination. She's not even depressed about being away from us. She's excited to tell people.
Paul, because she's staying up so late and can't sleep, she's not able to wake up early and tend to the farm.
Yeah.
I
mean,
that's to be a worker.
That is how the movie all starts off. She's not. That's why Anna takes her there.
She's got to work.
She's got to work.
She's got to work. Otherwise, she's going to get left at the asylum.
1,000%. You can actually, in the world of Oz, be mentally insane as long as you wake up early and can help Aunt Em out with the farm.
Big time.
Whoa.
Big time. Yeah. No, I think that's it. And again, this exists in a time when children worked. When there are no child labor laws, there is no you get to be a teenager and go to college. That kid is going to work that farm now. You know, at whatever, 10 years old.
That's why you have kids.
That is why you have kids. And that's why you have a lot of them. Because you got a lot of farm to cover. And some of them aren't going to make it.
And she's doing a damn bad job because you know what? By the way, the mom is threatening Belina, right? She's like, if you don't shit another egg, like we're going to eat you. I mean, that's the other thing too. So she's
I would love it if she said, if you don't shit another egg.
I mean, basically that is like what she's worried about. His mom's like, we're going to eat your pet. The only thing that you have here, your only connection to life, we're going to eat that thing. And she's like desperately looking.
Toto.
Yeah, Toto's still rocking around.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Toto's still rocking around. But boy, if I'm Toto, I'm like, come on. Hey, guys, can I get some action? Like, how come she gets to go back and I don't? Like, it was the movie from Toto's point of view is like, hey, I'd like to go back to Oz as well.
The Toto that I know would have followed that horse and carriage and jumped in the back and
I felt that too.
There.
I felt that too.
Do you guys think, and maybe this is for the later in the episode, but if this, if this had no relationship to the movie The Wizard of Oz, but was just a 1980s, like I'm saying, like Pan's Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, regular Labyrinth.
I might feel differently.
Would you enjoy a movie in which a little girl descends into like an Alice in Wonderland type of a story that's dark and scary? And I mean, I still agree. This is so aimless and I don't quite know who wants what and how, and I'm not tracking if we're getting closer or further away. But I liked a lot of the movie, if I'm being honest. Watching the movie, I liked quite a bit of it once I let go of the fact that any of it was going to somehow be related to the movie that I remember as The Wizard of Oz.
Well, I let go of that and I was simply disturbed. Yeah. Like that was the thing. Like I was disturbed by.
But that's what I didn't mind. I was like, oh, I don't mind like dark kid like dark. This is scary. This is, I didn't mind that as much, I guess, if I took it away from the fact, well, then this isn't Oz. This is, I kept kind of bumping out by being like, oh, this is not The Wizard of Oz. This is like the Dark Crystal,
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was very hard for me to divorce from The Wizard of Oz. I couldn't, even though there were things that I really loved too. I loved that hallway of heads. I loved, her trying to get the key or whatever it was from from Princess Mumbai. And there were moments that were so great, but I also, to not have any of the beauty of Oz, or even to not have like the beauty of Glinda or this Princess Oz and the mirror, to not have any of like the magical beauty was really hard for me. And even the way Dorothy was dressed. I actually need to speak about this for a while.
Great. Let's go.
Yeah, clear the decks.
Here, hold on. I will. Excuse me. I'm going to mute my.
Great, Jason's muted. You know, I understand like you're not going to ever just replicate or reach the height of like what that iconic blue and white gingham dress was. And I get that. So don't try to do that or a version of that. But to do what they did, to put her in that weird white dress, which I can't even track. Did it change from the asylum to Oz?
I don't
It was
think
exactly the same. And it's like, it was so, not that it needs to be flattering on a 9-year-old child, but it was so sort of shapeless and strange, billowy. It was all sleeves.
There was nothing about it. Like, if I'm a kid watching this movie, I don't feel connected in any way.
That's exactly my point. There's nothing for me.
And by the way, I think her bows were too big in her hair.
Her bows were too big?
Right.
It felt to me like they were trying to be. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, oh, no, we did the research. This is what a 10-year-old girl would have worn.
And that's what kills this movie.
These years. And so that is the movie we're making is a more grounded, more faithful representation. You know what I mean? In a way.
But when I tell you, Jason, when those ruby red slippers came out, I just was like, thank you for giving me something to look at.
Yeah.
To feast my weary eyes upon. And I thought it was like a wonderful little gender bending moment when the king gnome or whoever he was like pulled up that fabric that he was wearing to reveal those slippers.
Yeah.
Again, there were moments I liked in here.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you're right, Jason, if you change your point of view on it, there's something very like weird. It's like, it is
so
to me,
much
what
of
I
what's
love.
weird about it is that it's a Wizard of Oz movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now here, it's like there are these things about it that are very specific. It doesn't feel like what they were trying to do, right? It feels marketed to a kid's movie. Here's the thing that upset me though, which is I'm okay. I'll take the dress. I'll take the less likable characters. I'll take all of that. But when you turn Oz back, like, let me see something.
I
and
totally
it looks like the
agree.
shittiest wedding venue,
Yep.
like on the outskirts of New Jersey that you could possibly get to. I was like, this is not Oz.
No.
This is
This is not my Oz.
This is not my Oz.
Not my Oz.
Yeah.
Not my Oz. And
Hashtag not my Oz. My Oz is Dr. Oz, who's I haven't checked in within a number of years,
Jason,
but his
no.
Oh no, he's that.
Yeah.
He's that good?
You don't want to align yourself with him.
You want to get yourself on. You want to go, Dr. Phil. That's the one that you want to align.
Oh
yourself.
yeah. Dr. Phil, he's the one. Oh man, Oprah picks terrible doctors. I think
my gosh.
is the note there.
I mean, or the power goes to their head. We already know that
Maybe
doctors have, they already have a God complex. You put them with Oprah, then they got to go to the next level.
That's true.
I'm going to be thinking about this movie more than I should because there are images in it, and I need to talk about a character that's near and dear to you, Jason, which is the gnome, the rock monster gnome who does not want chickens in Oz. We don't know why he doesn't want chickens. And at the end of the movie, Bellina, the chicken, shits an egg down his throat and kills him.
Yes.
Oh, no, dear. Oh, I finally laid my egg.
You know that eggs are poison.
Poison indeed.
Poison. Poison to gnomes.
Okay, wait a second. Does she know that that's poison
I
to
think
him?
the chicken was just scared.
And is that how you shoot an egg? Like that's what happens physiologically? Like you get really scared?
My assumption was that the chicken knew that the egg would kill him because it's only visible slightly in one scene. He's wearing a medic alert bracelet that says severely allergic to eggs.
Stop it right now.
Well, he should have had an
which
EpiPen.
is a bracelet which is a bracelet that my mother made me wear for my entire childhood.
Oh, man.
Jason, but you had to wear it.
Oh, no, without a doubt. It
Okay,
was
yeah.
essential. Oh, no.
Essential.
Essential. But me wearing a silver bracelet that just said severely allergic to eggs on the back of it, engraved.
Oh, my gosh. But,
It breaks my heart, but I'm also like,
yeah, hey,
good.
Thank God.
Good. Good.
I thought that there was something really odd or interesting about the fact that instead of just he just wanted chickens gone. Like he had like a chicken genocide in Oz in a way. It's like and only because the fear that might happen. I mean, and he got it good. He got it.
Yeah.
Oh God, did he ever? I mean, did that feel healing to you in some ways, Jason?
It really, it really brought something home for me. I felt as though all of my angst and anxieties with my allergy, really, this was a salve. It really helped.
Could you have been this person, Jason? If your mom didn't make you that bracelet, could you have become a gnome knight, gnome king and freezing everybody?
Oh, if my mother had simply said to me, chickens are the threat. You know what I mean? Instead of people are the threat.
Right.
People are going to give you eggs. So that I learned to not trust people. But if I had been told don't trust chickens, much different. And frankly,
maybe we wouldn't have the podcast. Maybe we can't go through those sliding doors because everything kind of happened for a reason as well.
Sure.
How I think of it.
Oh yeah, and let me be very clear: there would be no chickens on Earth because the last 45 years of my life would have been spent just murdering chickens.
Oh God!
I mean, they don't really get into why the chickens are outlawed or how he got rid of the chickens, but I'm going to say it definitely was not. It was not pleasant. I mean, he tortures. I mean, the fact that he does that little game with them,
to turn them into ornaments.
Yes, to ornaments.
Yeah.
To ornaments. And by the way, but then when we see them, they're not ornaments as we know them. Although
they're just like.
But to call them ornaments?
To call them ornaments rather than
creepy.
Tchotchkes.
Yes.
I would have loved it if everybody got turned into curios and tchotchkes. But I will say that was one of the things that I actually liked.
I did
which
too.
Is when she goes into that room, and that room is, there are these elements that they're playing with that I thought were fun at times, where it's like they're in the stone cave and it looks like a stone cave and he's made of stone. He's part of the cave, blah, blah, blah. And then when she goes through the thing into like an opulent, beautiful sitting, like castle level sitting room, it has there are visual things that I felt like were like, oh, this is cool. And then all the ornaments around that you realize, these were people, or these are people or things, I guess, that he's changed into these ornaments. And I dug that. There was stuff in here that I liked. I just wish I understood the why,
Right. Yeah.
In service of what?
In there about the Earth's resources.
Yep.
And him feeling like they were stolen. But that sort of fell apart for me too because of her argument, which was like, well, the Scarecrow, it was already Emerald City.
Yeah.
Right.
When he started to reign there.
Right. So there's a world in which he was also like the Wizard of Oz was all powerful, but then the gnome knight was just waiting in the wings.
Well, no, what's interesting is the Wizard of Oz was not powerful. He was just revealed to be a man. But what then this movie suggests is, but don't worry, that lesson, don't learn it because there is an all-powerful bad guy. And that is this guy.
But what I'm saying is, like, in the world of Oz, people were scared of the wizard because he had portrayed himself as the all-powerful. But yet, and with a big crazy face, but yet there was a man with a big crazy face.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you're going to make a sequel to The Wizard of Oz, and maybe that's where I'm coming down in this whole movie, it's like, why are we doing the same? Why does she have 3 companions? Why does she swap out the dog for the chicken? Well, just do a whole different event. Not every journey to Oz needs to go on a trek to a place and then a coronation at the end.
It's so interesting because it's like we have, and it's different because it's a retelling, but let's just use as an example The Wiz.
I like The Wiz.
As another
Insane.
installment in this story's evolution, because The Wiz is a riff on The Wizard of Oz, the movie, obviously not the book. So like, and that is unquestionably incredibly successful and an amazing movie, you know? So to me, to get from there, I'm like, we've now had multiple generations where we have institutionalized the version of these characters and these stories where they sing and it is colorful. Why make this so drab? Why? And I get it. It's the books and you can say that all you want, but you're really, I think.
I'll never say it. I'll never say it.
No, I mean them. I'm sure that was their thing, you know, them being like, well, no, we're taking it back to the books, you know. But then why? If the books are so much less visually enjoyable, I guess.
I mean, look, it's a real bait and switch. That's what we're saying here. It's a real bait and switch. Now put Toni Collette in there. You know, give me give me the cast of her. I do want Hereditary. I'm all for
I
it.
would love an Ari. Ari Aster needs to start making the rest of the L. Frank Baum books.
Oh yeah, let's get it. Let's start from the beginning. I want to see it from his perspective the whole way through. But because I do think this is a horror movie. It's about a girl who is about to go through very traumatic electroshock therapy. She escapes through her imagination, but which is not actually her imagination. I mean, I think the ending of this movie, and I think that they pulled away from it, is she wakes up and you see the doctor pulling the two things away from her head, and she's like, oh, where am I? And he's like, you're home.
Yeah.
And then they wheel her back out.
And
that's it.
That would be great. That would be great. And what if he was like, you know, he said something to the effect of like, what do you think about Oz? And she was like, what's that? You know what I mean? Because isn't that what they say in the beginning is you won't remember it?
Or they go, here's your key back. She's like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then she just starts, blood just comes out of her nostril, this one nostril.
Yeah, and she starts to float in the air.
Okay, but in this movie, Return to Oz,
yes,
is the woman who like the head nurse at the institution, is she in jail at the end? Is she in a jail horse carriage?
Apparently, apparently there's a lot of deleted scenes that did not make it into this film. There's like a work print that people have seen, and so much so that I found them to be like, there's A through J of deleted scenes here.
That's a lot.
But the idea being that she basically was, there are other patients that were like abused and mistreated and kept in the basement.
You know what this is like? Sucker Punch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I have a vague memory of it. But
because there is a world in which the first Oz is she's in a coma from, you know, the tornado. And there's a world in which this one is the entirety of Oz is during her electroshock treatment. Like it is always a trip inside the mind rather than a real trip into a different world. There's a Jacob's Ladder scenario potentially happening here. You know, like there's just, boy, I just wish the movie, because that would be a fun, scary movie, little kid scary movie.
Yeah.
You know? To descend into a world that isn't joyous and full of song, but is nonetheless full of characters that you need to befriend and help them on their journeys.
And you know, Jason, I and June, I apologize for saying this right now. I don't like to get into politics, but I did not like the fact that they elected the Scarecrow as the King of Oz. I felt like, how did we decide that? He was a straw man, literally a straw man.
You know, and we see what happens. We got a scarecrow in power, and the entire he spent all of the emeralds, and the country all of Oz fell into complete disarray. The infrastructure is out of control. The yellow brick road is all torn up. There's no infrastructure going on. There's no health
wheelers out there to clean it up. You know, this is what I'm saying.
The wheelers are unchecked. They don't have badges.
Oh, the wheelers.
I thought the design of and the execution of those wheelers was cool as hell.
Very cool.
I liked that.
Those wheelers were incredibly unsettling in a great way, in a very compelling way.
They were, I think, scarier than the monkeys because I think that's what they were supposed to be.
1000%.
Now,
They're
I will
supposed to
say
be the
this.
monkeys, but they were scarier because they were human. And they were scarier because they were chaotic in a way that the monkeys seemed ruled by something. Like the Wheelers had an energy to them that was just so they seemed completely out of control and
Well,
disorganized.
their movements are so foreign. Those big,
Yes.
long front arms ending in wheels. Like monkeys flying are just monkeys flying. Everything in The Wizard of Oz kind of went normal-ish. These guys looked like it felt like body horror,
Yes, exactly.
This felt like David Cronenberg's Return to Oz.
Crash. I would like to see Crash with the Wheelers. Now, here's the thing. When Oz turns back, the Wheelers are still Wheelers. I thought the Wheelers would be like normal people, but they are just still Wheelers. They're just nicer Wheelers.
Because here's the thing. They weren't the wheel. I don't remember where even the Wheelers came from, but I didn't get
from
the
the
sense that
gurney.
they had been. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I think if we're trying to find like the connection of like the Wheelers are the guys pushing the gurney when she's strapped down to the gurney in the real world.
Okay. But it didn't seem like they were like the people who were transformed into stone, like other members of Emerald City, like they had been different things before. The ornaments had all been different things. Like the Wheelers just seemed to exist there as Wheelers.
I agree.
Yes, they seemed like a gang, and and not for nothing. They did, and I know this is. I said they were cool, and I really liked them, but they also had a bit of a Starlight Express element. to them.
Big time! I mean, that felt like they just grabbed them off the set. This was shot in the UK. I bet you they just say, "Guys, can come over here for a day."
Yeah, you guys can come do this.
And they're like,
right?
"This terrain is too rough."
Andrew Lloyd Webber will give you the day off.
This is, I mean, so much here. Obviously, we have opinions about this movie, but you'd be surprised to find out that there are people out there.
Okay, I'm not surprised. I am sure when I was watching this, I was like, I bet there's actually a lot of people.
This is going back many years.
Devotees. Yes.
Going back many years, I dated a woman who this was one of her favorite movies.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
From her childhood. Like from her era of...
Well, I know why she dated you now, because you reminded her of her favorite villain of all of the movie.
Yeah. She kept calling me her rock king.
No, but she did travel with skates on her hands and feet.
Yeah, not skates, single wheels.
Oh, by the way, I will say this. You didn't know this.
I'm sorry. This movie being your favorite movie is a red flag for me.
Yeah.
That's a red flag.
All right. But it's also like that Peanut Butter Solution movie. Sometimes when you get traumatized by a movie very young, it can like seep in because it's almost like a rite of passage, a badge of honor.
Well, I think, and I would wonder, and if you're listening to this and you are that generation for whom this movie was right in your sweet spot, I bet this was a good in quotes.
Yeah.
Scary movie for kids that wasn't so scary. You know what I mean?
I really wanted to show it to our kids. I was going to suggest that to you tonight, June, but
No.
Okay.
No.
So now I will say this. Obviously, there are people out there with a different opinion. It is now time for second opinions.
The movie was a piece of shit, yet this person recommends it. Tell me what is the message? Maybe that art is subjective. I need a second opinion.
Now, hopefully one of these is written by your ex-girlfriend, Jason.
Oh, that would be great.
But I will tell you this much. There are 5,634 reviews for Return to Oz.
Wow.
And 80% are 5-star reviews.
Holy shit.
Okay? 80%. Now, some of these are written by the Wheelers, I think, because it's just a lot of skid marks around here. It says this. Sean Plorty says, "Make your kids watch this. It gave my daughter nightmares. 10 out of 10 approved. 5 stars." We got to check on Sean Plorty, please. I don't think that's the way to parent. This one is this one is an interesting one because all of these are odd. KLW's title is, "I enjoy being able to share childhood memories with my children." Okay, great. I bought the digital copy instead of the actual DVD only because I didn't want to wait the 2 days for shipping, and I love that it is on our TV, computer, tablets, and phones. We can watch it no matter where we are. Now, I do remember being a little creeped out by some of these characters. That hasn't changed. Luckily, my children aren't creeped out. They can watch this movie multiple times a day. The Wheelers and the Headless Queen are disturbing to me, but it's still a great movie. Just don't overthink it. It doesn't add up. Just go along with it. 5 stars.
I don't
Wow.
disagree with some of those sentiments. Not 5
Sure.
stars, but like just go along with it is a good, because there is stuff in here that's interesting to watch. Just don't, if you're trying to find story in here, it's just not there.
I want to say that, while we have pointed out that there's not much here, a viewer who titled their review Most Underrated Major Studio Film from 1950, I don't know if that is right, writes, it is about this movie, says, a strong statement on modern commodification, social alienation, and the ethical courage to pierce through it, which may appear tantamount to insanity. A truly underappreciated classic. 5 stars. So it's saying that in a world where insanity is being creative.
Yeah.
Which I don't get, because at the end she's not creative. I bet she's just gonna work on that fucking farm again.
Oh yeah, she can't do any. It would be so hard. The gravitational pull for somebody on a farm in Kansas to get away from that in 1930 whatever. Oh, impossible.
It's impossible. Now I'll tell you this much: the final scene of the film that was cut out is a minute and a half long scene of Dorothy and Toto playing in a field.
Wow.
And then here's my final review, because I know we have to wrap it up. My final review is simply this from V. Title, review. You know if you like it or you don't. So I don't know why you're reading a review. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't. 5 stars.
Wow, that's great.
There we go.
I guess that's true.
It is.
Would you? I don't know how to feel. Would you recommend it? I'll just jump in first and say yes, because it's so odd. It's so weird. It's worth a watch. I don't think it flies quickly by, but it is.
But it is almost 2
odd.
hours as well.
Yes,
It's long.
Yeah. It's long.
It's long. And A through J is cut out, by the way. You should see the amount of scenes that are cut out of this thing.
That's an editor. That's an editor's movie. He's willing to cut out all those scenes.
Well, I guess at a certain point, he's going to be making like a 4-hour opus over here. But I think
that if you can like really go into it, putting the Wizard of Oz aside,
right?
An almost impossible ask, but I think that there was a lot of parts of this movie that I had fun just watching, just because it was gonzo nutso stuff, and lots of what we haven't talked about, obviously, is this is an era where, 1985, all of these fantastical elements, the pumpkin guy, the TikTok, these are practical elements.
Yeah.
These are puppets. Right. There is a lot of cool stuff here to look at and be inside of. Is it a good story? Does it make sense? No. But is it like boring or uninteresting? No, I don't think so. I just think it doesn't hold together as a movie, and it really doesn't feel like it's any kind of continuation of what I understand to be the Oz saga, even though I know it is. But so yeah, I would say watch it. But if you can, I think you'll enjoy it more if you just are like, oh, I wonder if I can watch a 10-year-old girl be surrounded by horrors for 2 hours and still keep going.
Yeah,
I bet there's not really an overlap between people who love The Wizard of Oz, and I consider myself one of those people, love the movie, and who love this movie. I think there's probably a lot of people who love the books deeply, and like are huge fans of the series, and then love this movie, Return to Oz, and had issues with Wizard of Oz because it's not really faithful.
Well, I bet that's true. And I bet the other thing that's true is I bet there's a lot of people for whom this was a movie that was constantly available to them to watch all the time, anytime, like on cable or on Disney Channel or whatever. Like, I bet
was it? I have never seen any of these images before.
I have seen these characters. I definitely have seen, but but that's because I trolled video stores as a kid. Like it was like one of those ones.
This was one of those things that like people saw more of this because it was more available, and the Wizard of Oz felt like, well, that's so old. That's from olden days. You know, this is,
and yet this looked so much older to me.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to hear from. Oh, actually, I'm not.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
I'm not curious to hear from fans, and I don't want to hear from fans. So, you know,
don't be
Scott,
too
you can cut that
curious.
straight out of the podcast.
All right, Jason, June.
Wow, I almost just made a huge
you really
mistake.
opened yourself up to a lot of conversation.
Wow, I stopped myself midway through to be like, what are you doing?
Don't be so curious.
This is the invitation they've been waiting for.
I've already said it. People who love this movie, that's a red flag.
Yes.
Yeah. This is all I'm going to say is that I hope that this brings you back together with your ex, Jason. That she finally understands that you have some appreciation for what she liked.
Oh, I did. Don't worry. I did text her to say we are doing Return to Oz on the podcast.
Jason, June, do you want to promote anything? Let anybody know what is out there, what they should be looking for.
Sure. Percy Jackson season 2's going on right now. A Man on the Inside. And if you're hearing this and you're in the New York area, I will be on Broadway in the show All Out at the Nederlander Theater. You can get tickets now.
Ooh, exciting. June?
Nothing for me.
All right, there you go. And I'll tell people, I released this little mini documentary where I talk to Taylor Swift dads. And it's you don't have to be a Taylor Swift fan. You don't have to be a dad. You just have to be a human. If you're a child, you have a child, you've ever been to a concert, I think you might like it. It's 15 minutes. You can check it out.
Great.
And just to be clear, you mean dads of Taylor Swift fans, not Taylor Swift's dads.
Yes, that is. Yeah, I did not get to talk to all of her dads. That is another documentary I'm working on. And a lot of people say, well, you're digging. There's only one that we know of. I know there's more. I know there's more. I'll get to the bottom of it.
Done.
I will get to the bottom of it. All right, that's it. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate and review us. Also, make sure you're following us and have automatic downloads turned on. It helps the show and we appreciate it. And a big thank you to our producers Scott Sonny, Molly Reynolds, and our engineer Casey Holford, as well as our social media manager Zoe Applebaum. And of course, we'll forever be grateful to the one and only Avril Halley. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next time. Remember, give us your corrections and omissions, but not your opinions.